Joining me here in Brussels is Mrs. Zoe Konstantopoulou, who has served as President of the Greek Parliament over the first 7 months, critical months, of SYRIZA government. Mrs. Zoe Konstantopoulou, welcome to Brussels and to Euronews. I would like to start from the Greek case. You were constantly opposing to the leadership of SYRIZA that you remember of, for the third bailout agreement with the creditors, and you finally left the party. Do you think that finally there was another solution, another alternative to what finally SYRIZA and the previous government decided?
Human history is full of examples of alternatives, and Europe is all about alternatives. Europe itself was construed and conceived as an alternative to atrocities, to war, to fractions between the states. It is totally absurd to go back to moments in time when people were faced with dead ends and where misery was presented as the only solution. I would like to underline that it is really more than cynical to baptize the memoranda and the loan agreements bailout agreements. They are no bailout for the Greek society nor for any European society. They are death sentence agreements. They basically provide for more austerity, more misery, more unemployment, more marginalization of the societies.
But the thing is that they voted again for SYRIZA and for parties that agreed to this bailout, to this agreement. And the thing is that they sent the message, a clear message to Europe that they want to stay in the Eurozone, in the European Union, and they don't want to be out of it.
I am absolutely appalled with dilemmas posed to any population, such as with us or without us. Either you're with us or you're against us. Especially, I'm appalled with European institution representatives taking a role of basically the ones who blackmail populations in order to stay. The Greek people did not really vote on the 20th of September. On the 20th of September, we had the biggest abstention in contemporary history. This basically means an almost 50% of people not voting, and this was the result of the people being totally discouraged by seeing that their vote during the referendum was totally disrespected and was bluntly violated.
We saw that many people outside Greece, people in Europe, were saying that, okay, the Greek government is asking from us fresh money and they don't want to pay their debt, they don't want to work hard, or they don't want to implement the reforms, necessary reforms, so that they can repay us.
First of all, being Greek yourself, you know that there's a huge defamation of the Greek people through this propaganda. The Greek people are among the most hard-working people in Europe, and it's a complete disrespect to these people to present them as a people who don't want to pay their debts. What we did at the Hellenic Parliament was we formed a commission to audit the debt and to really see how it was created and what it constitutes of. And this commission, called the Debt Truth Committee, the Truth Committee on Public Debt, found, first of all, that 92% of the money given to Greece has not been at all used for public expenses. Rather, it has been returned to creditors. And the committee also found that the basic bailout of these agreements was a bailout for the French and German banks which were holding Greek bonds. No bailout was ever offered to Greeks. No bailout was ever offered to the Greek society. No bailout was ever offered to the Greek economy. A bailout was offered to German and French banks, which had a 2-year time to get rid of their bonds before the first restructuring. No bailout was offered to those who lost their money from the restructuring, but a bailout was offered very conveniently to the Greek banks.